Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Terra Invicta, playing as the Resistance. We are so frustratingly, tantalizingly close to everything we are going to need to take the fight back to the aliens. The only thing I'm waiting for is a sufficient drive. We've researched a lot of the prerequisite tech. It's now just a matter of RNG waiting for that drive to appear. If that doesn't work out, I'm already researching antimatter propulsion, which will give me some options to get another type of drive, which is very, very effective. And soon, I'm going to have some antimatter being produced as well over Mercury. And in case none of that works out, I'm also going down to Deuterium Helium-3 fusion tech, which will lead toward the Daedalus drive. So I am working down 3 separate research paths, trying to get a competent drive, and oh my god, it's killing me, but we're this close! This close! Also, I'm researching the Hydrogen Trap, by the way, which is a nice way of getting an extra 50% bonus to exhaust velocity, which can really stretch out that KPS. And remember, with a fusion drive, we have some spikers, which can also get another 50% boost. So we're really close. Really, really, really close. I did try designing some ships to see what was going to work, and we can get some small ships out to Jupiter and start setting up some bases if we want to. However, we already know that the aliens are capable of intercepting me within a couple of weeks if I'm already out there, and they are going to. These things, unfortunately, as much as I like the antimatter microfusion, it's only going to take me 30 weeks to get to Jupiter. That's actually pretty long. And by the time we get there, the aliens will have intercepted us and killed us, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I really need one of these drives. I need it so badly. We'll get it. This video, we will get it. I don't care how many hours it takes. We're going to Jupiter. Now, you may notice, if you've been looking at the date, that I actually played a little bit in between videos just because there was some micromanagement that wasn't very interesting. I will say, China has been extremely stupid so far. They keep sending their armies to go and attack me over Japan, and I'm able to intercept them with my technologically superior armies and obliterate them before they can escape. So they're actually running out of armies now. They've lost like 3 here. I'm also building up a load of support in India. The goal is to take this away from the Academy. I don't care if I keep it for myself. I really don't. But I do want to break them out of that federation, peace out with Japan, so I don't have to worry about fighting all these guys. And then I don't care what I do with this. Leave it to humanity first or something? Sure. I'm just kind of sick of the Academy bullying me as of late. So, we're going to take that away from them, and if I then see an opportunity to snag China away, I'll do that too. Yeah, see, case in point right here. I just obliterated one of the armies they sent over here to Tokyo. Didn't stand even the faintest hint of a chance. They can't escape fast enough. So by all means, keep trickling your armies in here one at a time, and just see what happens. The Japanese are ready. Oh, I also did get the extra 40% XP when I hire someone, because remember, in the last video, our guy got killed. Hey, you look surprisingly similar to the last guy who died. You've actually got all the stats that I want, too. Some investigation, espionage command. You're an okay character. Is there anyone else that would be better? We could work with this as long as I can get rid of things like careless. Let's try recruiting you. And we are going to see what we can stack up on you. 80 XP to start. Now, that ain't bad. Now, I should note, the aliens have decided to send a really large fleet to Earth. They want to take out my shipyard, the big shipyard. Can't say that I blame them. 3.4 thousand fleet power. That's not insignificant. At least a couple of dreadnoughts. Another couple of large fleets that have not been launched after me yet, but probably will be at some point. Yep, more dreadnoughts over there. Let's see, they got a mothership and a destroyer over here. Yeah, and another mothership there. So they've got a lot that they are still holding in reserve. And not to mention around Makemake itself, 5.6 thousand fleet power sitting here. This is going to be a really tough nut to crack. Alright, this is the final story mission research, the final assault. Despite the dangers, the only certain method of ending the aliens' attempts at invasion is to collapse the wormhole, and with it, their access to our solar system. This will take a joint operation of an unprecedented scale. We will need to form a strike team that will serve as the tip of the spear. Yeah, suicide mission, love it. Okay, so we have a new organization, the Janus Section, whatever it's called, which we can assign to a counselor right now. Not sure what that's going to get for me, but there's our objective complete right there. So after studying the data available, we have decided this is the only way that we are going to be able to take this out. Probably a one-way trip. And if we can destroy that thing, hey, awesome. Exotic space explosives should be enough to destroy the wormhole permanently. But there are other objectives besides merely closing the wormhole. We cannot allow the aliens to control any of Earth's regions, so no alien state. But at this point, I think that's more or less a foregone conclusion. And then also, the aliens must have a fraction of our fleet power. So we're gonna have to chase them down. I've managed to steal another couple of organizations that get me some space mining. So now my new character has a combined 17% extra mining capacity just from stealing from Project Exodus. That's going to end up being huge once this thing kicks in. We should see that we are making a pretty reasonable amount of things like volatiles now, despite the fact that a lot of our asteroid mines have been destroyed. Also, if you were wondering what the Janus section is, it's right here. It is a 3-star organization. It gives you 3 administration, which is terrible. But the important thing is, it does give you a special mission, Close the Gate. So whoever we are going to send on that suicide mission has to have this equipped, or else we are unable to destroy the wormhole. Gosh, I'm not kidding. I think China's going to destroy their entire set of armies. They've only got 4 left. They had 12. 4 left because they keep throwing them on the same spot in Japan. Oh my god. All right, the AI needs a little bit of work there, I think. Just a little tiny bit. Well, there's the antimatter propulsion tech. I cannot believe I'm still not getting the dang drives I'm asking for. The antimatter ones won't come up. The combined fusion ones won't come up. What is this nonsense? Why? I've checked. The requirements say they're done. It says it's got a 100% chance of showing up. It says that every prerequisite's been done. But I'm not getting the dang drives. God, that is so frustrating. Oh! 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 The hybrid drive! Oh! Oh my god, that's the one we're looking for. That is the one we are looking for. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay. Okay. All right. Hybrid fusion drives. Finally, one drive that we can use. God! I've been looking this up, and it appears that despite the fact that I do have a 100% chance that I will discover it eventually, that doesn't mean you're going to find it anytime soon, as we're noticing. Apparently, it's like a 5% chance every month of showing up or less. So I've just been phenomenally unlucky, but it actually is really hard to get the endgame drives. I didn't think this one would be that hard. I figured the Icarus torch would be hard, but this one apparently is really hard too. Okay, 50 kps, that's it. That's not as good as I thought. But you know what? It is a fusion reactor, which means I can buff it with a bunch of different things. So even though this velocity is not outstanding, it's one more step toward the really good stuff, and I'm hoping I can get this up to something reasonable. Forget everything else. This is top priority. We can have this sucker out in 1 month. Excellent. Plus, battleships around Mercury. Nice. And to make matters more interesting, I have decided to coup India and kick everyone else out. That got me 3 points out of the 5. And you can see that there are 10 other people who have arrived over here. This is a mad dash from Exodus and Academy to get India back. Of course, the question is who gets it first. Looks like we get 1 more point, and someone else had to abort. They were going for number 4, which means I get number 5. Boom! Alrighty. Academy loses its stranglehold. That is so excellent. And there's our hybrid fusion drive. Okay, I don't know if... Oh, and there's also Mission to Saturn. Perfect. I don't know if this is going to be strong enough to get me everything I need. I just know it was one really crucial step. And God, the RNG was just driving me up a wall. Okay, what are the things we could work on? So here's the thing, right? If you know that you're going to be getting like a 5% chance per month or less for some of the really good drives, to an extent, it makes sense to try and find as many drives as possible, right? Just to give yourself a chance at finding something else that's good. What's another one that's good? Maybe we should open up like a 4th path, try to find some more drives, just see if we can get something worthwhile. The Zeta Hellion drive is one I've heard really good things about. Okay, yeah, 3,500 kps. That seems pretty solid. What are we missing for that? Z-pinch techniques. We're already getting this. Then we need Z-pinch. Oh, we're actually really close to getting this one. Oh, we're really close. As long as we get this as well. All right, so if we're going to continue working down fusion drives, let's pick up Z-pinch. It sounds to me like this is just going to open up a few more opportunities. Not necessarily the one that I've been promising this whole time, but just opportunities. And that's good enough. So just out of curiosity, let's see what I can design. If I wanted to build, let's say, a cruiser just to set up some bases with some battleship escorts, or even dreadnoughts, I don't know. But let's say battleships for affordability right now. What could that look like? Yeah, definitely not as good as I might have hoped for, partly because the ship is just so gosh dang heavy. But then you toss in something like a Muon Spiker, which gets me another 20% KPS, and you throw on, or maybe instead, an Anti-Miter Spiker? You can only do one or the other. All right, fine. So we do an Anti-Miter Spiker, 38.1. That's not an improvement. What? Really? That's because what I need is something that gives me a bonus to exhaust velocity, not the thrusts. That's where if I had anything that used hydrogen specifically as a fuel type, we could give this so many boosts. Oh gosh, dang it, this still ain't gonna cut it. We really need another drive upgrade. Ah! Whoa, 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 where are we? Okay, hang on. The alien fleet is attacking my shipyard over Earth. Well, I've got a lot more fleet power than you. Are you sure this is what you want to do? No, he doesn't want to engage. Yeah, I didn't think he'd want to. Seems like it's a little bit much for you. Especially with the station on my side. My question is, do I abandon the safety of the station and go attack him? And honestly, this seems like a pretty great opportunity. I think we should. And it looks like we're not going to be able to, because the fleet has abandoned Earth and is going elsewhere. You are running all the way to wherever this place is. Okay. Right, 3,000 fleet power, and they're just tucking tail and running away. Sure, okay. What if I try messing around with something else? Still gonna take a while. This is about a year-long trip with a special type of ship. So the reason we might be able to make that work is the advanced pulsar drive, which we've had for a very long time, and I've not really messed with it here. This is a fission drive that does technically use hydrogen as its propellant, which means you can make use of something I recently researched called the Hydrogen Trap to get an extra 50% bonus of the velocity. And all of a sudden, you're looking at 99.6 KPS, which is better than what the fusion drive was doing for me. 28 weeks to travel out to Jupiter before we load a lot of stuff on it, but as you may have noticed, it gets kind of heavy very quickly. So the question is, do we think we could build something here that is self-sufficient enough that maybe, just maybe, we could build a bunch of these and send them out into the wild yonder and they can hold their own, at least against some of the basic stuff the aliens have? I think the answer is probably no, because I really think that the aliens are going to respond with an absolute ton of firepower, so we need to send heavy stuff. But I don't think you can send a battleship and expect anywhere near the same amount of KPS. The tonnage is going to be way too high. Well, the downside of building this ship is I actually could have built these months ago. We had the technology, I mean, aside from the Hydrogen Trap, which definitely makes a huge difference. I'm also going to toss on something called a remass scoop, which should allow us to refill hydrogen propellant from being in interface orbit of any Jovian planet. So in theory, just moving over to Jupiter and I refuel my ships, just like that, boom. So it's okay. Not enough to run away from the enemy, not enough to chase them down, but hopefully enough that we can give them pause while we set up some proper colonies. Let's save the Resolution class cruiser, and we need to build a bunch of them. Like a bunch. I'm going to build 8. 8 of these ships to start should be pretty good. It's going to amount to a lot of firepower. Should be about 1,700 or so, which will be enough to scare off all but the really big fleets. And if they send the really big fleets after me, I'm dead anyway, right? Oh god. Okay, so that's going to be about 140, 150 days. We'll have a fleet. We'll launch for Jupiter. There's a deuterium helium-3 fusion. So with that done, we are now able to get some inertial confinement reactors, which is good, and this can lead to proton-boron fusion and clean energy. Also, you get a lot of other good stuff. For example, less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere in general, so climate change starts to get reversed a little bit. More fusion levels, so we have less energy crises, that kind of stuff. It's always good to do these fusion techs, even if it takes forever. So the first 4 of my cruisers are built. Do I launch these now, knowing that there is going to be a, 70-something day lag? 74-day lag. If I send them piecemeal, that gets me a little bit of a head start, but it also means I'm a little bit more vulnerable for one window of time. 74 days is more than enough time for the aliens to react. Yeah, no, I think we have to wait till all 8 are sent at the same time. I know it sounds cowardly, but we've seen them go from, like, well past the asteroid belt to Earth within a month. So I know that they can catch me. That's the thing. I have to be very cautious, otherwise I've wasted a year of buildup. And there's a successful coup in China. Did I take everything? No. But did I kick the academy out? Oh, yeah. And that's really gonna hurt. Well, the question now becomes, do I think there's any chance in heck that I'll be able to hold on to China? Very, very unlikely. If I abandon India, I would get 100 cap back. That would leave me... I could easily get 5 points. The 6th point would be the hard one. So that's where we're going to run into some issues. It would be kind of nice to be able to just take over China, though. China, very strong, and the Academy did a pretty decent job building it up. It's got a lot of investment points. Invest this sucker properly, and China can become extremely powerful. I'm very tempted to try to find a way to make this work. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and abandon India and try to hold on to China. Let's see if we can pull this one off. And the good news is I actually disarmed India's nukes, so even if they become a problem in the future, not a big deal. Also, by doing it this way, I think the AI is going to look at this and say, ooh, opportunities to get India, and they might get distracted away from China while I secure the rest of my control here. So, yeah, this is a good way to throw them off the case. And that should be the last of the cruisers. All right, 8 brave ships, each loaded with the ability to set up some remote outposts and hubs on the Jupiter moons, which probably is overkill. Technically, just 2 of them might have had that. The rest with more weapons, and that might have been fine. But you know what? Just in case things go wrong, I like having lots and lots and lots of redundancy. So, transfer to Jupiter and probably start around, let's say, Europa. We've been there once before. It's going to take 85 weeks. Hold on. Why is this taking so much? Oh, the launch window must be terrible. Hold on. Is there something I can do that makes this a little bit better? Let's see. It's a plus 18% and only getting worse. The longer I wait, the worse it's going to be until we get a full cycle around, so we'll have to wait like a year. Yeah, realistically speaking, if we're going to do this, we probably have to do it now. It's only going to get worse from here. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't suppose there's anything around Jupiter that's a little bit easier for me to get to, because all I have to do is just get to Jupiter and I can scoop up some hydrogen and we're good to go. No? No interface orbit for me? Darn. Maybe we try to launch for something like Leda instead. This shaves off at least a few weeks, so that saves me a couple months. We arrive at September of next year. That's a long travel time, very long. And it does not leave me with much leftover KPS. So, if I can't find a way to get a station set up to refuel, all of these ships are going to die. But, yeah, this is probably the best I'm going to get, at least until we find a better engine. Oh, the Icarus drive! Oh my god, yes, finally! Oh, that fired so much faster this time! Not that I'm unhappy about that, mind you. That is extremely lucky. Holy crap. But that literally changes everything. The entire game just changed in that one moment. And now, after like 30 hours of playing the game and building up to this moment, we can finally do everything we want to do. Let me show you what I mean. So you know that Resolution class cruiser that I just designed, right? And this thing is able to travel all the way out to Europa in about 80 weeks, right? Set up some bases. We just built 8 of them and launched them. Well, let me show you the exact same ship, but with the new Icarus drive on an Intrepid cruiser. It's only going to take me 7 weeks to reach the same destination. 7 weeks! 1/10 of the time, because an Icarus drive is just so much better. Yes, we're going to use up a load of Delta V and constantly burning to get there as fast as possible, and it's going to take up a load of water as propellant. But who freaking cares? This is all about speed right now, and this is going to do it for me. This is a super well-armed exploration cruiser that can set up bases all over the Jupiter system. You might think, oh, well, that's just a little cruiser. I mean, of course it's fast. No. Let me show you some dreadnoughts I've designed in order to escort those Intrepids at some point. Also, 7 weeks to get there because we have so much delta V at a constant burn, increasing our acceleration of 27 millig's. We absolutely can get there in a fraction of the time. By the time that the 8 ships that we have spent so long building and launching are finally there at Jupiter, we'll have already set up base. I mean, yeah, that feels bad, man, but at the same time, who cares? It's a faster solution. So I've designed 2 dreadnoughts here for space superiority. The Indomitable class, no, this isn't the Indomitable. This is the Vengeance class. It says the wrong name here. This is a plasma boat. I am loaded with so many plasma cannons that enemy point defense means nothing. I'll just start shredding through armor with raw firepower. To this extent, I had to add on a couple of extra heat sinks and a couple large batteries, just so we'll have enough energy to actually fire this off more than 10 rounds. So we'll have a load of energy on this thing, and it does boast a little fusion platform kit if we have an emergency and need to set something up to refuel. 1.6 G's in combat acceleration is not half bad for a ship that is 17.8 tons in weight, all right? The other ship I've done is the actual Indomitable class, and this one is what I'm going to build for the most part. It is a very generalist ship, so still loaded with lots of plasma, plus an ultraviolet phaser cannon with the intention of being able to shoot down small ships really easily, plus assist the point defense if we need it. The advantage of this ship is that we've loaded on some elite Marines. Why do we care about that? Because if I go to the Jupiter system, let's say around Io as an example, the aliens have a weird tendency of building almost nothing but point defense and defense arrays on everything they own. So bombarding this thing is going to be a very, very costly endeavor. You know what's a little bit safer, weirdly enough? Send Marines down to the bases and blow them up. As long as we bring along enough Marines and we have a station where we can repair and refit, in theory, that is the safest way to take out the mining operations of the aliens. We may have a hard time taking out their space stations for similar reasons. They're also loaded with point defense. Not this thing. Hang on, let me show you. Here we go, this thing. So much defense. There's no way we're punching through this without taking massive losses. But, even if I have to leave this being, taking out the mining operations for the aliens is a massive blow. If we can take out everything around Jupiter and travel around the asteroid belt, we can deny them so many resources they won't be able to continue fitting up new fleets. And eventually, through kind of a war of attrition, they're going to lose. So I need to stash up some resources right now because these are very expensive ships. But if I can build up a whole bunch of Indomitable class dreadnoughts, we're going to be able to, 1, fight them very easily in space, except for the space stations, and then 2, start knocking out all of their mines. That is the new goal. But first things first, get these cruisers up and running. They will get there in a fraction of the time as the previous ship class. We can set up in Jupiter, and once I'm set up in Jupiter, launching a proper assault force is going to be easy. Oh my god! Woo! You're kidding me! It literally just fired! It literally just fired! What? It's been like a couple weeks! What are the odds of that? Holy frick! What are the odds? People are gonna think I'm cheating! Oh my god! Oh my god! What are the odds? Okay, the Icarus... the Icarus torch, right? The drive that I just showed you, I spit upon that drive! 4.5 thousand KPS! 4.5 thousand KPS! We're going to be able to go beyond the solar system in a fraction of the time. Oh my god! Yeah, screw the civilian fusion reactors. Screw the civilian fusion reactors. Get this researched right now. Everything goes toward this now. Oh my god. I don't know what the odds are of getting the Icarus torch, but the thing is, I think I saw that we had like a 36% chance of it even being in the game in the first place, and then it's probably what, like a 2% chance per month that it would spawn? The fact that it fired right then is nuts! Well, I'm still gonna build out the Intrepid class that I've got. 7 weeks is still reasonable. By the time that the Icarus torch is researched, we can actually still be setting up in Jupiter. But this means that now I can build such unbelievably good dreadnoughts that not only can get anywhere, they can run down anything. The aliens don't stand a chance anymore. Holy crap! I need to save the game. I need to save the game before I lose that. Holy crap. Right, what do I do in the meantime? What do I actually do in the meantime? Tell you what, we got China. Let me see if we can snag things like Korea and some other neighboring countries. Kick the academy out of here. What I want to do is reform a new Pan-Asian combine with the resistance and try to integrate Korea and Japan into one nation. That'll make it a lot easier to control my governing cap. And with all of that and a very powerful China gradually democratizing like the Eurasian Union, we'll eventually be able to turn China into a powerhouse worthy of the United States. Since we're going for broke here, I absolutely need to try to get as much exotics as possible. The good news is, for some reason, the AI in this game really seems to be a big believer in trickling ships in and just getting them killed. Like, they think, oh, well, it's only a couple of ships around Mars. We can handle those pesky humans. Wrong. I have proven time and time again, if you send them in one or two at a time, I can and will obliterate you. I don't know what they're thinking. Unfortunately, we only got 0.1, exotic out of that, but okay. The weird thing is they seem more willing to invest in like 2 or 3 exotics in tiny little frigates instead of big ships. Can't really say I understand why, because that makes it even easier to harvest. And I do know why the AI keeps trickling them in one at a time. It's because they think that they're going to be They think they're going to be reinforcing all of their ships. So they're not rallying people together first and launching as a big wave. They think they're about to stack up like 6 ships at once. But of course they're not, and as a result, I crush them because of this silly little exploit of being able to launch 2 forces to prevent them from retreating. It literally changes everything. It just makes the game unbelievably micro-intensive. Yeah, see, we got 2.4 exotics there. That's almost enough to build up an entire new dreadnought on my end. Okay, we've reached what would be considered a momentous occasion. The first Jovian base hath been founded over whatever system this was. I think this was Europa. So we get a little bit of extra science and stuff. It's kind of a pittance, but hey, that's awesome. However, I'm sad to say that I am a dang idiot, and I discovered this, unfortunately, a little bit too late. You guys probably noticed it. You've probably been screaming at the screen, but here we go. So, the Resolution and the Intrepid-class cruisers. I thought that I brought along what I needed to set up both a fusion base and also a fusion platform. Nope, I mixed them up. I put on 2 outposts and no platforms at all, which means I can't set up any of the dang floating platforms. Really stupid error to make. Good news is, because we have these outposts, they come with a construction yard. So now, rather than ship something all the way from Earth, we should be able to go to Europa and say that we want to build, let's say, a simple platform, and it'll take... Why does it still say it'll take 992 days? Oh, never mind, the construction module is not done. Oh, okay. So I've got to wait all the way until May. But when May is done, then I'll have construction modules and I can set up some platforms. Just another 5 months. I've already been playing this episode for like 5 or 6 hours. What's another 5 months in the game? Looks like the first of our dreadnoughts is complete. The Indomitable, the first of the batch. That is a really nice looking ship. Pretty sure it's got a fleet power of like 600 or something. Get a bunch of these stacked up and they are going to be absolute beasts. The AI has started doing this new thing, which is starting to get really annoying. They have a lot of ships that all just arrive at the same time. They're not technically one big fleet, don't know why. But the AI actually has, for some reason, only now started actually rallying them so they all arrive at the exact same time. If I attack one, they will instantly stack them all up into one gigantic fleet. This is like 8 ships, and it's probably enough to start taking on some of my stations and maybe bombarding stuff into the dust. Which is obviously a rather huge problem, so I expect we're going to take some losses around Mercury all of a sudden. Gosh, dang these guys. Yep, see, there we go. Reuben James control base on Mercury is now getting bombarded. We're probably going to lose a bunch of stuff. Sure enough, they destroyed the battle stations and so on. Ow, they destroyed everything, didn't they? They sure did. The entire colony goes bye-bye. Alright, it's not the first time they've done that. They did that on Mars as well. Yeah, and there's not much I can do about it, if I'm honest. It looks like at least one ship was destroyed, but that's it. Really? What's changed all of a sudden? Have they done something new? Because I'm accustomed to them taking a lot of losses. My guess? They've either researched or started making use of, let's say, nukes. Which is why they are doing so much damage and taking so little in return. Ooh, this is going to be a big fight. Okay, so the aliens decided not to attack my station, around Earth at least. They've got a lot of fleet power, but this is going to be a test of all my battleships, plus my new dreadnought to see what they are able to accomplish. This is going to be fun. All right. Let's see how much these can do. The biggest issue I've got right now is that they've got a lot of torpedoes heading my way, plus some of their ships have lasers, which have done some damage. The Indomitable has already taken several huge hits. Where are my freaking point defense? Hello? Are those all plasma shots? They are. Oh, no. And there it goes. Well, that feels bad, man. Okay. So it turns out they've got a lot of plasma, and they've learned from what I was doing, and now I'm in a lot of trouble around Earth. I still think we're going to win this fight, but okay, yeah, they've upgraded. They've upgraded a lot. That is really unfortunate. And there go the last of their 2 dreadnoughts. At the end of the day, did they lose a lot more than I did? Oh, yeah. Did that really freaking hurt and teach me a valuable lesson? Yes. If they're using plasma, there's not really any counter to that, except for armor. Lots and lots and lots of armor. I mean, I've already got 40 armor on the nose. They burned through that in no time flat. 40 armor! And they burned through that with their plasma. The good news is a bunch of mines just got set up all over the Jupiter system, so our income just skyrocketed on a few things, including volatiles, which somehow I'm completely out of again. Well, we're sort of accomplishing our goal in the sense that I've gotten around Jupiter. We've now got a bunch of colonies set up with more on the way. But I'm definitely not going to have the fleet power necessary to go and do anything against something like Io, especially if we keep getting destroyed around Earth before I have a chance to build out a whole bunch more of these dreadnoughts. I've got a bunch queued up. That's where all my resources went a bit ago. So in a few days or whatever, we're going to have like 3 more of these pop up. I mean, that's going to help a lot, but yeah, we're in trouble here. We're in a lot of trouble, guys. All right, well, I need to end this video here, but we at least managed to get Jupiter under control. We're increasing our income. It's skyrocketing. The more we can stack up on this, the more powerful we're going to become. And remember, very soon, we're going to have a bunch of Tier 3 cores set up all over Ganymede and Europa. And if we spend the time building out some bigger mines, this stuff will probably jump up to like plus 30 or 40 per day. Once we've got that, and we're getting enough metals in particular, plus volatiles and so on, we're going to be able to start fielding a lot more of these ships. Then it's a matter of simply waiting long enough to get them built out. We'll see. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.